Hey guys, I'm back again with another thing that helped me this week. And this week, what I want to share with you guys is let go of perfectionism, which I know is a huge task that's not going to be solved in 1 week, but I want to give you some thoughts that can kind of help you start moving in that direction, because I know there's other people out there that struggle with perfectionism like I do. And the first thing I want to say is that I think a lot of perfectionism stems from this all or nothing mentality that we tend to have, where it's like, oh, well, if I'm not going to do everything perfectly, then I might as well not try at all. Or, oh, I have to clean, but like I have a million things to do and I'm never going to be able to get all of them done. And then you only do part of them and then you still feel bad about yourself. It's like you think that if you don't do everything, then nothing counts. And that is basically the breeding ground for like a very toxic mindset. And I struggle with that a lot. So I speak from experience when I talk about that. And for me as a mom, a new mom to twins, something that's been the hardest thing for me has been when both my twins, when I'm by myself at home, my husband's at work, no one's here to help me, and both my twins start crying at once. And because they're so little, it's really hard for me to pick both of them up. And even when I pick up both of them at one time, it's hard to like comfort them, because like one of them's kicking the other one, their heads are hitting each other, like they're just like struggling around. It's easier to comfort a baby when you just have one baby. So I've struggled a lot with comforting both of them at the same time when they're crying, or even letting them cry at all for even a minute, because I felt like going into being a mom, it's my job to comfort my baby 100% of the time. And if I ever let them cry, I'm a horrible mom and they're going to die and be a broken person who's going to end up in prison. Basically, that was my kind of mentality going in, that I had to always comfort them every minute or else I was a bad mom. Well, I kind of applied that all or nothing mentality for the first probably month of motherhood, and I was a nervous wreck. I would go hours without making myself a meal, going to the bathroom, drinking water, even brushing my teeth or showering, because I had to make sure that both the boys were perfectly calm and that everything was good between them before I did anything for myself. And a lot of times that opportunity wouldn't come for hours. And I would get to the end of the day and I was just so worn down. I felt like I had nothing left to give. And so then the next day I would come to my babies and I would just be so tired and out of it that I wasn't really like being present with them. So later on, I realized sometimes my babies are gonna have to cry for a few minutes. I'm gonna have to put them down so I can make myself a bowl of cereal, or so I can refill my water bottle, or go to the bathroom, or brush my teeth. And sometimes they're gonna be upset that I'm not holding them. And that is okay, because they're not gonna be, a broken person because I didn't comfort them 100% of the time. And I changed my mentality from this all or nothing mentality to how can I be an intentional mom who spends time throughout the day with each of my twins individually, giving them love and attention and comfort. And in my mind, I'm thinking, and I don't have all the answers, I'm not an expert, but I think that if I shift to being intentional every day with each of my twins and giving them the love and the comfort that they need, then that's what I'm hoping that they will remember from me. Not the mom who was trying to be there 100% of the time and never took care of her own needs to the point of being worn down to the breaking point, because that's not the mom that I want to be for my twins. So that's kind of the main message I have to share with you today, is being intentional instead of aiming for perfection. So when you're intentional in your life, you will do your small tasks that you can do with the time that you have to the best of your ability, and you'll realize when you need to take a break. And that will help you do the things you can do better, instead of just trying to do everything all at once and then burning yourself out. So that's my main part of this tip for you. I also want to say that perfectionists like myself tend to be very critical of themselves. And it's really important to talk back to that voice in your mind that tells you like, yeah, well, just because you did these tasks, you have all these other things you need to do. Well, that's a really miserable way to live your life. And the way to do the opposite of that is to celebrate your small wins every day. And this is something that I'm really trying to focus on. Like, I'm trying to focus on the small ways that I'm taking care of myself, the small ways that I'm loving my twins, the small ways that I'm taking care of the house, and focusing on those things like, oh, I took a 15-minute walk today. Wow, that was really great. Or, oh, I had a really nice shower. That was awesome. Or I had a great time hanging out with Leo. Or Dominic and I had a great cuddle time. Like, those small wins are so important. And if you focus on that, rather than all the things you didn't get done or all the things that you should be doing, then you're gonna be a lot happier. I think it's just the nature of perfectionists to just we think, oh, once I do this thing, then I'll feel better and then I'll feel good about myself. But that's such a lie, because once you do that thing, you're just gonna be focused on the next thing. And you're gonna keep going and you're just gonna be miserable all the time, because you're not gonna be able to like just appreciate yourself for the thing that you did do right in that moment. So yeah, you have to ask yourself, this is kind of my wrap-up thought, what am I prioritizing in this thing that I'm obsessing over? Because perfectionism will make you miserable. And if you're prioritizing being happy in your life or just having like a joy-filled life, then you're going to have to realize that every day is going to be imperfect in some ways. And if you can focus on the small things you did right, then you're going to be a lot happier, and being intentional is so much better than being perfect. Ooh. Thanks for listening. See you then.